this video, we'll be looking at how teachers can make instructions accessible for EAL learners as they participate in home learning. In class, you can do many things to help your learners understand the instructions. You can use body language to support understanding, for example, gesturing to the board. You may also use particular facial expressions to clarify meaning. You can also use vocal cues such as emphasising certain words, using intonation, or speaking more quietly. And in the classroom, you can provide on-the-spot clarification. The nature of having to adapt to home learning very quickly in the current context means that your learners may not be getting the same level of support in understanding the instructions that they would do in the classroom. So let's look at what you can do to help. In class, you probably use visuals to help understanding, and you can do the same when setting work for home learning. For example, if you're asking learners to identify musical instruments in a piece of music, you might want to include some pictures of musical instruments to support them in case they don't recognise the word instruments. Pixabay is a great source of images which are free for commercial use and require no attribution. The second thing you can do is to grade your language, that is, to make it easier and clearer to understand for your learners. Here you will see two different versions of the same instructions for a task for a secondary science lesson. In a moment, stop the video for 30 seconds and decide which of the instructions is better and the reasons why. Stop the video now and start the video again to find the answers. Number 2 is much better and clearer. Here's why. Number 2 uses shorter sentences, each containing one piece of information. The first instruction is all one sentence and includes too much information. The syntax is also overly complex. Number 2 is concise. Example 1 includes a lot of fluff which doesn't hold meaning. Extra words make it more difficult for learners to find the key instructions. Lastly, number 2 uses imperatives which make it clear what the learner needs to do, unlike the first example which is very vague. These are just the basics of grading language. To learn more, watch the Bell Foundation guidance video resource on grading language. Adding examples to your instructions will help your learners to see what it is they should be aiming to do. So, if this is your task, you could add this example. Creating worksheet templates makes it easier for learners to find key information quickly every time they read a new worksheet. When you create your worksheet template, you can include the topic, subject, date, focus of the task, and for the tasks, break it down into steps. It helps to include the same layout for each worksheet as you can see here. On written worksheets, it's useful to break down the instructions into smaller chunks or stages. This helps learners to separate out all the different parts of the task. For example, you might have this task. Pause the video now and read the task. In these instructions, it's difficult to see how many different stages there are. Instead, you could break it down like this. Pause the video again and read the task. This second example chunks the instructions by separating them into steps. When necessary, the steps are then further broken down into numbered points, and the steps are all separated by blank space. All of this makes the instructions less dense and easier to see how the task is divided. Make sure you use the same layout in all your worksheets so learners find this easy to follow. Remember to give instructions. Even if a worksheet looks obvious, a simple, clear instruction at the beginning will help learners understand what to do. Lastly, you can also video yourself giving instructions. PowerPoint has an inbuilt screen capture function which allows you to film yourself and a PowerPoint presentation at the same time. Doing this will mean that you can talk your learners through instructions whilst also including key information, both text and visual. The benefits of filming yourself include the fact that you can use facial expressions, body language, and vocal cues to continue to support your learner. An added bonus of videoing yourself is that you will provide further exposure to listening in English that EAL learners are likely missing out on during this time. So, in summary, here are the ways you can help your learners understand instructions at home. For further CPD opportunities, the Bell Foundation also runs regular webinars. To sign up to upcoming webinars and view recordings of previous webinars, go to the Bell Foundation website and then EAL Programme Training Webinars. You may also be interested in signing up to one of the Bell Foundation online courses, which you may also find on the website. Thank you once again, and please keep up all the great work.